But an analogy here might be with worldly kind of education and the distinction between IQ and EQ. It's considered that for success in education, generally IQ accounts for about 20% and EQ 80%. And if you, perhaps we may consider it, let me compare it to bullets. Let's say in the case that you're using a gun in a legitimate way, not to kill anybody. And wisdom, intelligence is like bullets, but EQ is like the gun. You can have lots of bullets and they can be very effective, but if you don't have a gun or your guns doesn't work, it's not going to shoot anything. And if you have knowledge and understanding of anything, but you lack the emotional maturity to make use of it, then may well not be effective at all. And so in meditation there are two aspects. There's the aspect which deals in the emotional level, and there's the aspect which deals with the intellectual or cognitive level. So certain meditation techniques emphasize that which is seeking the emotional benefits and emotional maturity, whereas the so-called vipassana techniques are emphasizing the cognitive aspects. But these two are in reality inseparable. Now, one of the values of concentrating the mind, or being able to maintain awareness in the present moment, is that one, that you develop an ability to dwell in the present moment without either falling into drowsiness or without being carried away with thoughts and fantasies and imagination. So the ability to dwell awake, aware, but without mental gossip proliferation. It means being able to dwell still amongst things which are encouraging you to either like or dislike, and to attach to or to reject. And for the wisdom faculty to really achieve its aims of seeing the nature of reality as a direct experience, this is a most important precondition, that the mind is still and clear without moving towards the pleasant and moving away from the unpleasant. And this is one of the abilities which is conferred by steady mindfulness over a period of time, which results in a stillness which we call samadhi. Now, another aspect of this is that when the mind becomes still and calms down, it gives rise naturally to a sense of bliss and a very deep, profound kind of happiness. And this is a wonderful discovery, because we've all of us heard, I'm sure, since we were kids, that true happiness lies within, and money doesn't solve all your problems and doesn't make you really happy, and all those kinds of sayings, and we pay lip service to them perhaps, but we don't really believe it, because we've never experienced this inner bliss ourselves, and we're of course wary of throwing away what happiness we do have apparently for something which we may never realize. Now, the ability to access this inner peace inner bliss. You can call that a samatha or a accomplishment of concentration, but it has great implications for the whole way we understand ourselves, we understand life, the way that we conduct ourselves. For one thing, it gives us, for the first time, a perspective on the usual kinds of sources of pleasure that we have in our lives, and gives us more willingness to weigh up the pros and cons, and to just to see whether all of the kinds of pleasure that we experience in our life are really worth it. But even if we weigh them up and we consider that they are worth it, then we will at least not be drawn into acting in immoral or harmful ways through a desire for that happiness. It's like if you've got a huge amount of money in the bank, even though you may still say, let's say you win the lottery and you have a huge amount of money, you may well still decide that you still want to carry on working because you enjoy working, even though you don't need the money anymore. So even though you decide to carry on working and receiving a wage, even though you might not strictly need it, it's highly unlikely that you would be dishonest or try to cheat other people because there's no need. And similarly, when you have this kind of inner peace, then inner happiness, then there's no need to be acting in unskillful, harmful ways out of this sense of inner lack and neediness. So that access to inner peace, inner happiness gives us this contentment and gives us the ability to and the courage to look at our minds more and more clearly.